Welcome to my world. I'm Takhar, and I want you to come follow me on my journey as I document the ups and downs of running a business. I've been in sales and service for over 25 years. See, my cup's full now. It's my time to give back to you. The conversations I'm having with guys and gals in the industries of real estate, entrepreneurship, and leadership. Make sure to subscribe, like, comment, and all you have to do now is sit back, relax, and come into my world.
So we get to chat about you now. So
Okay.
How does this journey unfold for you? How do you get into real estate? First of all, because we're going to get to Rec Canada and the whole development of Rec Canada, but what's that process like?
So I was selling cars, as we mentioned earlier, for 3 years. And at the same time that I was selling cars, I started to recognize people owning real estate and renting it out. And so I was like, okay, I like this. My parents always were renting out basement apartments. Like wherever we had our primary residence, they would always rent out their basement. But never more than that because they just didn't have the education. At the same time, I'm starting to think about investing into real estate. I sold 4 cars to real estate agents. I see their applications. I'm like, wow, okay, these guys they make pretty good money here. But then English must be their third or fourth language. I speak English kind of well, right?
You do okay.
I do okay.
Yeah.
I love sales. I'm gonna try this out. Let's go get the license. I really want to learn how to invest. So I actually thought I was signing up to learn how to invest in real estate. We all know, as we're all licensed, the course doesn't teach you anything. But I said, okay, I'm going to give this a shot. And about 2 years into it, well, let me backtrack for a sec. The first couple of months, I bumped into a gentleman who he's passed on now, but he really took me underneath his wing and taught me how to get clients, how to like show homes, just the basics of being a real estate agent. And then after 2 years, I was like, I got this. Like I got the hang of this. I know how to now get clients. I'm gonna start looking for investment properties. And fast forward, 15 years later, myself and my business partner, Simos, who really operates and manages our team. We have 37 real estate agents on our team. We have 10, 11 support staff. Laura's our director of sales and marketing. We got a media squad now, and we're trying to stay up with Rockstar Real Estate.
No, you're doing great. You're doing.
So I'm curious, just the guy that took you under his wing.
Yeah.
Why? How did you meet the guy, and why did he decide to do it?
Yeah. So funny story. So I'm in the business at that time for about 2 months, and when I was in car sales, we got a free car. I lived with my parents. The only bill I had was a phone bill. And so now for 3 months, for the first 3 months, I'm like, people are teaching. I'm with Remax, if we're allowed to say that. Great company. I mean, it wasn't a fit for me. But at that time, they were training me. Like the best training they gave me was, here's a phone book. Start at M or N. I'm like, what? Why M or N? They're like, well, generally people start at A or Z.
Nobody gets the M or N.
And I'm like, okay, like this is the training I'm getting. I'm gonna go back to car sales. The owner there, family-run business. Till this day, we're very, very close friends. I walk by the fax machine, and there's a fax that just came through that says free business development seminar. I'm like, all right, it's free. It's not going to cost me anything. It's in Mississauga, not too far from where I am. I go check it out. There's about 150 people in a room like what you guys have here. And he asks a question like, who has a good website? I put up my hand. He's like, okay, great, man. How many leads did you get? Or how many deals have you done from the website? I'm like, none. He's like, how many leads have you got? I'm like, none. He's like, but you still think you have a good site? I'm like, it looks really cool. It's jazztakhar.ca. It looks amazing, all this kind of stuff. And he started to pick on me. And I called him the next morning, and I'm like, man, I think I need you in my life. Like, and he's like, what do you mean? I was like, I need someone who's not going to sugarcoat anything. Like, let me be your, like, whatever you need. You want me to clean your toilets, whatever you need. And I don't even want to get paid for it. Just let me learn. And that he became an older brother to me. Like for 13 years, he was like a third older brother. I have 2 older brothers. He was the third older brother, just taught me everything that he knew. And then like the week of him passing, he was going up to stage. He was going on stage because he was kind of the front facing guy. And he just looked at me. He's like, man, I'm so upset at you. I was like, what happened? He's like, you should be doing this. And I'm like, well, where are you going? Like, why would I have to worry about this? I like what our setup is. You go to the front, clients come to me, I get on the phone, And 2 days later, he passed on.
Wow.
But, you know, he still lives on. His dream lives on. We wanted to be the top real estate team in the country. And right now for Royal LePage, out of the 18,000, I'm very proud. And this is really because my business partner, along with the 37 agents, we just got number one last year. So we did a little over 700 transactions. And so we're keeping his dream alive now.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
Yeah,
Very
I think he
cool.
saw something in me. That's what to really answer your question, Nick. I think it was just he saw the hunger. He saw the hunger. I think I came with raw talent, but he really molded it.
I like how you recognize that you had the raw talent.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
you were very humble in that.
humble.
moment.
Yeah,
I got the
I
raw
deal with
talent.
this every
Yeah,
day.
I have the
it's
raw
true.
talent.
Yeah.
The
But you
talent
didn't
was
understand
there.
marketing, so that's where Laura comes in because she's like, "Look, I need help. This is what, I think a website, if it looks cool, it's good."
Exactly.
Well, it's
Jazz,
so
in that-
funny. I actually didn't start on the team as director of sales and marketing. I started as just one of the 34 odd realtors we had on the team. And I met with Jazz, and he was supposed to be my like guinea pig interview. Like I was like, I'll try this company out. They're close by. I'll meet with this guy, but I have no intention of working here. And then I got sold right on the spot.
He had the raw
But what
talent.
was it? What was it really? I don't think I've ever even asked you. Like, what made you? Like you, I think I was the first person that you met with.
Yeah. So I hadn't sold anything prior, and I kind of was telling Jazz my thoughts, like, this is what I want to do. I want to get into real estate. I just finished my MBA. I went back to school and like had 3 different careers by this point. I was really trying to find like the right fit for me. And I don't know, you have a way about you, I guess, all that sales background. Like you.
So the raw talent that we were talking
We
about.
reverse engineered it.
The
talk about
foundation,
that.
the foundation
Yeah.
was there.
Yeah.
The raw talent. But you know what? How old were you when you decided to work with that gentleman? Because I'm imagining you didn't take all the commission on deals that you were doing. You were giving up a lot of the commission. And a lot of people, when they get into the business, just look at that split and say, I want to earn 100% of the commission. Whereas you just decided.
23 years old.
So you were 23 years old, and you just decided, because I guess maybe you didn't have that many bills, that listen, I will just work under you, and I don't care what the commission split's going to be.
Exactly, because in car sales, it's 20-80, 20% to the salesperson, 80% to the dealership.
Oh, interesting.
So when I was talking to like that
Sounded
first company,
good.
I was like 80-20. I was like, okay, so it's the same as car sales. And the broker's like, at Remax, he's like, no, you get 80. I was like, what? I get 80% and you get 20%? I'm like, yeah, we're good. Like, I thought I was robbing him, right? And so when I met with this gentleman, for the first, I think it was like the first 2 years, I was probably no more than 50-50 for sure. I didn't even care. Like, I have no idea. Not that he would have taken advantage of me, but if he did, I didn't care because it was what he was teaching me. First and
But
foremost.
how did you recognize it? That's what
Yeah,
most
that age is
people
tough.
do not get. I don't understand how you recognize that.
I knew that, like, okay, so sales for me has been since 12 years old, really going back to since I was 6. Like, I was the first kid to put up my hand when the teacher said, who wants to help with the book sale? Who wants to help on like selling the Christmas ornaments? I didn't even celebrate Christmas. I was like, yeah, me, just to get out of class. I'm sure, like, looking back now, just not to do the work that everybody else was doing, but I knew at a young age, okay, this is my talent. Like, I know I just need someone to direct it properly. And I knew it was that gentleman.
That's rare. Okay.
When I saw him on stage, I became a fanboy. Like, instantly, I was like drawn to him. And he wasn't like a hard sales guy. And that for me was important because I'm not a hard closer. Like, I'm not a, you gotta buy 7 and you gotta buy now and wait, there's more.
No,
Like,
you're
I'm not-
selling on energy.
I
People
think
are buying
so.
into your
I
energy.
think that's what it is. But I'm also like, yeah, take your time. Like, you're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like, I hate being pushed to buy a pair of shoes for $100, let alone have the audacity to push somebody to spend hundreds of thousands.
So
of
what do you
dollars.
tell people now? I think, is it Luke on your team who's like working with you? What do you tell younger people now?
Yeah.
Or what would you tell a young realtor now who
Yeah.
gets their license, who looks at a commission split of 50-50
Yeah.
and says, whoa,
Yeah.
I want it 90-10 or 95-5.
Yeah,
you know,
if they're
I'm
just-
gonna-
if
what,
there's-
yeah, what's your mentality in explaining like, hey, here's what you're going to learn?
Yeah. I'm looking, so I'm actually just sorting and convincing. So for Luke, for example, he came to me in this like the same way. He was like, Jazz, don't pay me. So for 4 months, I think, Laura,
Yeah,
he
4
was
months.
he was an unpaid intern. And then now he's getting paid like a salary to be an assistant. He's learning the ropes. And so to answer your question, Tom, I would say, look, if commission is like, if that's what's on your mind first, we're not the right place for you. We're just not the right place, because we're actually not, like, me personally, I don't even manage anyone. Like, I'm truly trying to develop leaders. That's what I wake up with in the morning with, the mindset with. I go to sleep with that I'm really trying to develop leaders to actually grow out their own teams. And if you're worried about, 10% here, 20% here, there, it's just not going to work out.
You don't get the big picture.
You don't get the big picture. You're not seeing the forest for the trees, right?
Well,
Yeah, go ahead.
sorry, it's so funny because when I started working with Jazz, I get asked a lot, like, how in such a short period of time have you moved up sort of the ranks, I guess, to work with you and Simeon so closely? And I say, because I would have done it for free.
Yeah.
I pretty much did. I mean, I saw what they were doing with investors. I helped them out at one seminar one time, and I was like, whoa, like, people are like throwing checkbooks at you, like, please, like, take our order, you know what I mean? And I said, I got to be a part of this. So I'm just going to sit in the office and I'm going to put my hand up if you guys need coffee, whatever you need. And this was like after I've done a lot of schooling. I was in my 30s, and people probably thought, oh my God, you're running around getting coffee like a gopher.
Yeah.
I was like, but it's worth it, because I'm going to hear those conversations. I'm going to be privy to what is really going on versus the single transaction that a realtor's doing, a couple a year or whatever. So it just fast tracked my whole career.
And I think it's important to mention with you, Laura, and back to the Lukes and anyone who's younger or like just who's starting out, is you need to immerse yourself. Like, you have to learn a new language. It's really a lot easier just to...
It's a shortcut to hang out with you. You're shortcutting
Yeah,
everything.
but you're buying
so
speed.
quick.
You're buying speed, right? Like, rather than trying to learn something online, like a new language, just go to the country for 3 to 6 months. You'll probably learn a lot quicker. It's the same thing in sales and whatever else you want to do, right?
What I find fascinating about you, though, is that you understood you had this talent. Like,
So
I
it's
know
not
we're
my
joking
looks.
about the raw
It's not
talent.
my looks.
Yeah, no, it's the talent. Let's
God.
face it. I mean, you're a good-looking guy, dude, but the talent's really high.
Okay.
You're like a 9 out of 10 on the looks.
I'm
but
gonna
it's
have
like
to
a
deal
10,
with
it's a
this when
10,
we go back
it's
to
a
the
10 out of
office,
10
the
on the
big
talent.
head.
It's a 10 out of 10 on the talent. So the 10 beats the 9. You know what I mean?
Sorry, Tom.
But
I just laugh because now I see what you deal with him the way I have to deal with him. So it's like, it's
Unbelievable.
perfect. Yeah.
Oh, our business partner, Sivos, is listening to this and thinking, these guys, God.
when Nick's always concerned, we were doing some Zoom calls, and I'm like, listen, I know my jokes are funny, so even though I can't hear you laugh when I'm saying my jokes, trust me, I know you're laughing out there, so we're good. I'm gonna say the joke, you're not gonna laugh.
Even that got old for you on Zoom. Tom, because Tom loves his own jokes. And on Zoom, though, even that got old for him.
It did get a little old on that one, but what I was gonna say is, I didn't understand myself that I had any sort of talent, so I'm interested that you said to yourself, like, I understand what I'm good at.
Yeah.
What I understood was failing fast. Like, I went from a programming job out of university to Oracle because I knew going to the top tech company, even though it was a tech support job, which is really looked down upon. When you're a programmer out of school and you go into tech support, that's like a huge step down. But I thought, hey, if I'm going to the vendor direct, I'm going to become the master of this stuff. So I'll take a step down for a few years, but it's going to rocket me later. So I understood that concept.
Yeah.
It's kind of similar to what you're saying,
100%.
but I never understood in myself that I had any innate talent. Like,
Yeah,
I never really had, and I'm not even sure I wish I did. It just, I find it fascinating that some people do.
Yeah.
That you recognize that.
100% self-aware. 100% self-aware. I also knew that, like, grade 5, grade 6, grade 7, like, you could tell the report card was telling the same story. It was because I was, the one class though, gym, great. Can't tell right now, but like back then, like really,
Are you sure? You're sure about that? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I'll,
Hey,
I'm
look,
gonna
we give
bring
you
it
the
in.
looks and the raw talent. We're not going to give you the gym without some proof.
Andre, make
You know
sure
what
I
mean?
bring in some
Listen,
type of report
give us some
card.
freaking proof, man. 'cause,
That's why I
like,
said the report
we're
card's
giving
gonna
you the
show
other
it.
ones.
The report card's gonna show it. I just knew. I was like, man, I'm not gonna, like science class. I don't care about math. I liked actually math. It was like when they went into like calculus and algebra and stuff like that.
Yeah, you didn't want to build a bridge.
I don't want to do. I didn't care for that, right? 12 years old, got my first paper route and got paid for it. I was like, whoa, this is cool. Like, got paid for that. And then my parents, I went home, father taxi driver, mother factory worker, very uneducated.
Where were they born?
India, came to Canada in 1974. So won the lottery then. Like, I've won the lottery so many times with the mentors.
Being born
I've had.
here?
Well, first and foremost. Well, I guess it would be the fact that my parents came here first and then me being born here. And then at 12, and then my parents never mentioned, like, they didn't say you got to give us the money. They're like, do whatever you want with it. Do whatever you want. My dad was like, you should probably put a little bit away of it. And I was like, no, the first few times I was like, no, I'm spending this on candy and arcades. But then at the same time, he would make me write the checks, pay the bills. And so I started learning.
Oh,
I was
wow.
like, Dad, where's this money go? Like, so hang on, what's this checkbook thing? Like, but where's the actual money? He's like, well, son, it's at the bank and we got to pay. And so I started to learn that. And I just liked it. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the freedom that money was offering me. I didn't really care to do a lot with it. I didn't even know what to do with it. I just liked the fact that I could do something with it.
That's valuable, because if you get sheltered from that in your life and you don't have to see how much money is outgoing in a household, you miss out on a big lesson. And it was when our parents got divorced, and then initially you were taking care of it as the older brother.
Yeah.
He moved out, so I was taking care of it. And it wasn't my money, so it was my dad's money was coming in. I was paying the property tax and the mortgage payment and doing grocery shopping and all that stuff. But when I saw it, I was like, holy shit, this is like, it just all of a sudden becomes very real. Like you knew it was happening before.
CRA froze our bank accounts.
Yeah.
Our father didn't pay his taxes.
Holy
Yeah.
crap.
I just threatened to kill them instead. But
That really was his mentality. Yeah. Which I don't know if we can. Yeah. He's
Not
80
kill. I
now.
shouldn't
That's
say-
a long
I
time
shouldn't
ago. I
say
think we
kill,
can,
but
I
yeah.
don't think he used those
Statute
words.
of
No.
limitations.
Yeah,
there was violence. There was violence involved.
Yeah. Government was always the enemy in his life. Taxes. You have to pay these things?
Well, he came from a communist country, right?
Yeah.
So the government kind of
Wow.
was the,
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's funny. I want to just go back to something. Jazz, you said how lucky he is that he knew that at such a young age. And I completely agree with you, because I was the complete opposite of a child to Jazz. I mean, I was good at everything.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I was that annoying kid that got
we'll
like
give it
really
to you.
good grades.
We gave him two things there: the looks and the raw talent. We'll
But-
give it
Okay,
to
you guys have all had your point. Here's what I'm really good at. No,
No,
no.
it's not
After
even
that,
that
I wanna
was
talk
good at
about
it.
it.
I just worked really hard at everything. I felt I needed to be good at calculus, because what if I do have to build a bridge?
Yeah.
My mentality was to be good at everything. And so, now I'm in my 30s, and it's taking, now I have to kind of go back and like
You gotta relearn it.
Okay, who am I? What am I passionate about? And I've had to fail a lot to learn that. So I think the earlier you can figure that out, the better, for sure.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Yeah, we tell everyone failure is the raw material required for success. Like you need all that failure to understand how to build a success. So in the real estate career, when you started building this team out, what was the concept there? Did the team already exist? Like, did Rec Canada exist and with this other gentleman?
Yeah, so no, first it was so when I met Simon, and that was the gentleman that passed away, the real estate center existed.
That's
which
right, I
was,
forgot.
Which
Sorry,
was,
yeah,
it's all good. Which was the brokerage. And then in 2009, 2010, we merged with Royal LePage Signature, which was really the best decision we made, because at that time, we quickly learned, myself and Simon at that time, when we had probably about 40 real estate agents, realtors on our team, that like the paying of the bills and making sure that the like all the stuff you guys are dealing with right now, right? We just weren't good with that. He also didn't really pick up on it quick enough, like just hire more people. And so I think that was one of our downfalls very early on. And then we merged with Royal LePage Signature, which allowed us to do what we do best: marketing and sales, not the administrative stuff. They took it all on. They took all of it, the paying, like just actually the logistical space. They gave us
Just
everything.
processing trades.
That's take care of it, please. And we don't care if like we didn't have to worry about the phone lines. They're very good with that stuff. And then that's when we went also, like what you guys do is we started to lead with education. That's when we came up with that.
Where did that come from?
You know what? It was I think it came out of like one of the meetings we had with a couple. It was myself, Simon, and Simeon, who's actually, just to confuse everyone, that's my
Your current business
partner.
partner,
We're in a meeting with a couple, and after we're finished, it was probably an hour long, the couple says, "Great, guys, awesome. So can you introduce us to a real estate agent now?" And we all kind of look at each other, we're like, "Oh, we're onto something." And we're like, "Don't worry, we got that for you as well." And they're like, "Oh, thank you so much, guys," because we thought we had to deal with somebody like that was a pushy salesperson, and we're like, "No, we got that all handled." And then that's when we said, "Okay, time to write a book. Time to
Yeah, they really saw you as advisors.
Same thing we hear about you guys. You know what I mean? Like it's like I didn't even know you guys were a real estate brokerage at one point, and I'm in the business, and I'm in the industry.
No one really does.
Nobody really does, right? That's when I think you're onto something.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. That's a huge, and we know that from just studying marketing for so many years, what a big thing that is. But for you to kind of stumble upon that like that.
Well, we spoke about it too when we were at your place, just playing the long game.
Yes.
Right. Instead of worrying about the short-term commission and grasping at it, because that just comes through, and then you come through as desperate, and then you almost repel people like that versus, and it always freaks me out when I say it like this, because when I was younger, I never believed this. But if you truly are just trying to help people, the rest of the things fall into place. And it sounds weird, because if you talked to me 15 years ago, I'd be like, that's a load of shit that they write in books, and that's a load of crap. It doesn't work, right? But now seeing it, I'm like, it's really the truth, and that's kind of what you guys figured out, and you just lead with that, right?
And just even collaborating with each other, like after you guys left, so probably it might have been like 2-3 days later, people saw the posts that were coming up that we were putting on. They're like, hang on, we don't get it. Why would you guys have those guys on your podcast? Like, what? Oh my God, like, your listeners
They're
and
your
your
direct competition.
they're going to take your business. And we're like, no, we can all eat. The pie's big enough. But then check this out. So for anybody who's listening to what you were saying, Nick, we come into this office yesterday, myself and Laura and some of the other team members were actually like in the process. And I was telling Tom, we're drawing out exactly how our new office space is going to look like. Lo and behold, we walk into here, we're like, oh my God, that's the exact table that we were thinking about. Oh my God,
like
how helpful that is to see other offices.
Oh my God, look at the dividers. So when we met, I had no clue I was going to walk into your office space. And now we got a bunch of ideas, and that all came from that one phone call or that one connection. I have no idea how it happened. It was serendipity, I'm sure. Like, it just came about. We got on a call. We did one podcast. We're doing our second podcast now. And who knows where this relationship is going to go.
Yeah, it freaks me out because if people, like, if we lived in a town of 100 people, maybe that's a concern. But we live in Toronto. Like, what is the population of the greater Golden Horse? That's Toronto.
Yeah,
but if
greater
GTA,
Toronto.
I think, is 6.6.
Yeah, so what's
and then Golden
Horseshoe's
Horseshoe's
like
just
9.
coming to 9 now.
Was it coming to
9.
9? Wow.
So we're 9 million. Like, even between your team and our team, we're nothing. We're ants. We're ants. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we could multiply this, like, take it much further, and there was still like a tiny fraction of it, right?
I mean, selfishly, once you understand most people think like that, you understand they're holding themselves back, and the world's your oyster if you just push forward. You know, and it's interesting because when I was checking out Jazz, because I think it was an email from Luke. I forget how we stumbled upon it. And then I was checking out your website, and I saw that I think we're in Gary Vaynerchuk's offices. I don't know.
Myself,
okay,
Laura,
and immediately I'm like, okay, these guys get it. Because I'm like, if they spent the money to fly to New York, if they spent the money to go meet, because I don't know if you were in one of his business development things. I don't know what. I didn't know what you did.
No,
okay.
we just flew to his office just to do a podcast.
Yeah. Okay. So, but I'm like, you made the time and effort and spent the money to do that. That in like 3 seconds, that told me everything I need to know about
That's
you guys.
awesome.
I get that about the podcast. Like, why did you guys decide to do a podcast? This is such a waste of time. Like, go sell, go do something. But they're not looking at it from the bigger picture, right? Which is awareness and speaking to people more on their level and educating them and entertaining them in a way, because then people start to connect with you as a person, and they want to do business with you because they know something about you.
Totally, you're building a relationship.
Well, that makes me so happy to hear what you just said, Tom, because I didn't even put that together. Like, that's what made you say yes. Like, that's so cool. Like,
it was just giving me context about you.
That's what I mean.
I'm like,
right?
I see these guys think like us, because if they're spending that time and effort, we're on the same wavelength already. I didn't even need to talk to you. I'm like, we're on the same wavelength.
And then we saw a couple of the videos, realized the podcast. We're like, okay, like then we're, whether there's a smarter way to do it or not, at least in our world, we're like, okay, these guys get it. You know what I mean? They get it. This makes sense. We should actually reach out to these guys, because we have other people that reach out to us. We're like, oh, I'm sorry, because we are like legitimately just like you guys. You're busy and you have to prioritize where you put your attention and your time, right?
100%.
So.
But I haven't left the office in 2.5 years.
Like, oh my God, I have to leave the office today.
I know.
I'm
so excited. You found Oakville, though. You found Oakville.
And it took
I drove.
And we missed an exit.
Yeah.
Laura, I was on a phone call.
And remember, listen,
I don't know how to get here.
And listen, don't stick around and eat any restaurants here, eh? Get out of here. Get right back into Peel and Toronto.
No. One drink inside. I just want to have a drink.
No. These restaurants are for Halton residents only. You have to pull out your driver's license soon to eat at a restaurant. Are you from this area or
We're all gonna have like fake IDs again.
Yeah, fake IDs. I'm from Halton. Yeah, here I can eat at the restaurant. But and so then Rec Canada, when you're growing that team, I guess, was it easy to attract people from the beginning because they just saw sales volume and they were attracted to that? Because I would imagine some people in the real estate industry look at the way you guys do your marketing and don't agree with it.
Definitely.
So you were just using your marketing almost as a filter to who wanted to work with you?
Yeah, that's exactly what. Like, for my client. So our business model is, as REC Canada, we're client facing and we're...
I keep saying Rec Canada. Do you say REC Canada?
I say REC.
Okay.
Most people do say Rec Canada, by the way.
Okay.
He doesn't care what you call him.
Yeah. Okay.
Takhar, Rec.
Yeah, as long as he's got the raw material and he's
and the raw talent.
The raw talent.
Yeah.
Raw talent. Sorry.
Raw talent. Yeah. Raw material is something that Nikki said. So yeah, we're client facing, we're broker facing as well. And what I think that the content has done, yes, I'm sure a lot of people look at it and they're like, what the heck are these guys up to? The nice thing with that is that they never call us. So I don't know him. Like probably majority of people say that, but the ones that do, they just want to be around. Like we had a client, I think 2 weeks ago, bumped into her outside of Shops at Don Mills where our headquarters is. And she stops the car and she's like, Jazz, Laura, Simos. She runs outside and she gives us a hug and all that. And I'm like, hey, what's going on? Teresa. So if she is listening, shout out to you. She's like, look, I have a job, a full-time job, but can I just work with you guys? And I was like, okay, like you want to be an agent? And she's like, no, I just want to get like you guys coffee and water because what I see is that you guys are having a lot of fun. And that's the culture we're trying to, exactly this, like when I walked around this hallway, like I know people are working, but you can feel the energy in your office. It's exactly what we're trying to build as well, because we just want people to come here. They know that it's a safe environment and grow with us. And if that's becoming an agent, great. If you want to be part of our media squad, great. If you just want to like hang around and learn about real estate investing, fantastic. We'll find, like if you get on the bus, we'll find you a seat, but you got to get on the bus.
And that seat changes.
Yeah.
Like on our team, I mean, people swap around. I've changed
You were a
jobs,
real
like-
estate agent.
Yeah.
Like you were a realtor
Yeah.
on our team.
And then I was still helping with real estate.
Yeah.
And then I started to get more into the marketing. And I thought, well, I think we need to do this and that. And then you thought of this podcast idea. And I was like, well, that sounds fun. I'm on board with that. And before you know it, what did you call me? The producer of the podcast? I don't know how to produce a podcast, but that's what I was called. So you just kind of figure it out along the way. And it's a lot of fun for everyone on the team because I think they see that the sky's the limit. Like they can grow with us. They can change. Everyone's priorities change.
You're
We had someone on our
ghostwriting a
team-
book now?
Ghostwriting a book.
And you guys are a little different team. Just walking into your office, it seems like a regular real estate office. Then you get to the back where you guys are.
No,
and
no,
it's
so
like-
not the back,
God.
the back corner, hidden behind down a hallway. Right?
It's a pretty big
It's a
space,
nice
though.
big space. No,
It's
it's a
on
big, it's a
purpose.
big area, but it's definitely
all on
like
purpose.
let's get these guys and put them way back there and let them.
It's
just
almost, I was gonna say with Jazz in that office, it's almost like you're going to see like the Mafia Don. Or
Yeah,
something.
yeah,
Like,
that's
he's in the
exactly what
back
it's
room.
like.
Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like he's just sitting back there. It's like, listen, you sit down here, and I'll tell you how.
Look,
it
you
works.
could have said that when you came into our office. Now that I'm here, you're the Mafia Don.
But you know what? But it's a good setup for you guys because otherwise it just wouldn't flow right. Like that
Yeah,
type of setup kind
sure.
of works in that office for you guys perfectly. I think. I don't know. I thought it was a great setup.
Yeah, no, and I mean, we're taking it to the next level, and shout out to our broker of record, Chris Lightham, who now is, because we got a little bit louder, as we like to have a lot of fun. We eat a lot, we drink a lot. Not drink a lot in terms of alcohol, but
So you're annoying to the rest of the
That
team.
too sometimes.
The team there.
that's exactly what it is. And so now we're taking even more space in the back, but now they're going to kind of block us off with doors and give
Soundproof
us
walls,
soundproof walls. Because we're also very animated on phone calls. Like the way that we are here on a podcast, we're very similar on phone calls. There's 15 people on a call at the same time. I like that energy around anyways. Like I like messy places. My office is messy. Because I just like the energy, right? And especially when other salespeople are making phone calls, I think it's important for clients to hear that you're dealing with people and an organization that is busy. Like
There's stuff going on.
There's stuff
Yeah.
happening. We're doing a lot of deals. We're helping a lot of people.
What about for someone starting out? We get asked a lot of times like, "Hey, the marketing seems to work. Where do I start?" And they want to do everything. They want to do Instagram, podcasts. If you had someone who's not going to work with you, but they're getting their real estate license and they want to start doing some marketing, do you have your kind of standard answer, or not even standard answer? What would you tell someone? They're young, they're starting out, they don't have a mentor that they're working with yet.
Yeah.
They're trying to build out their marketing. What would you tell them to kind of focus on?
First and foremost is figure out your database, your network. And we've all heard this, that your net worth is determined by your network. So piece of pen and paper, old school, write all the names that you think you know, because I think like we all have people on our phones, but they haven't heard from us for 20 years. Write the names and the phone numbers and call everyone, let them know you're in the business and ask if they're okay to make introductions. Secondly, document your, don't fake like, hey, I'm here and I'm doing, I just did 7 deals today and I'm making $700,000, like I'm making $1 million. Like, don't lie, don't bullshit. Say, hey, just starting out today and I'm gonna see my first property. I
I like how you're acting this out for
Yeah.
us. Too.
Yeah.
This is really good.
Yeah, because
I think he just
I
wanted
should
to
watch
whole
him
thing.
do this all
Yeah,
day.
yeah,
He just wanted
To
an
his
excuse to
phone.
look at himself in the reflection of the
Well,
phone. Yes.
Guys, that's why the phone's that. Like I took off the case now just to see. Yeah, like document what you're going through, and I think people, and just be authentic, because people are going to connect with you, and whoever doesn't, who cares? As we were talking about.
Okay, so what about the person
9
who's
million
like,
people.
I can't be authentic because I don't have my first deal? Like, Jazz, easy for you to say to be
Document
authentic.
trying to get the first deal.
That's it. So what did you do today? I woke up today and I listened to a book, and the book that I listened to was Success Principles by Jack Canfield, and this is what the book was talking about. I'm going to try these things out. There's one post. There's one piece of content. And then you're going to go on and say, okay, look, I don't have any clients right now, and so I'm going to go see some properties in the Oakville area, and I'm going to see 3 properties today, and they're going to be $1 million, 1.2, 1.3, and they're semi-detached, they're detached, and they're a condo. What did you do there? Just as a sidebar, you just showed everybody that you deal with detached homes, semi-detached homes, and condos, right? So, because I hear it a lot, you only do condos. No, I do a lot of homes as well. So you're trying to document what you want to accomplish is document what you're going through.
I mean, I would watch somebody making cold calls and getting like hung up on. I think that would be interesting.
Yeah, wouldn't you?
Right? Like just someone being like, never call me again.
Yeah,
Like,
and then
you know, you were like, oh, documenting that phone call is funny.
I think the obstacle in people's mind is no one's going to find it interesting. Now, me, I always use
That's the number one obstacle in their mind, for sure.
right? Like,
Yes.
like they're gonna they're not gonna find me interesting. Look, Keeping Up with the Kardashians is the show. I think I can't watch that show at all. Like I don't want it even in the background. My wife loves that show. Laura, do you love that show? I'm sure. Like
I watch it.
Okay, so
I can't believe it's still on.
Guilty.
yeah, like season 15. I don't know what season it's on. Right?
incredible.
I don't even want it on the background because it creeps into my subconscious, and I don't want that noise in my head. Right? That's me. That's how I am. I love root beer. Like it's my favorite prop. Coke, Diet Coke, ginger ale, all that. Don't like it as much. Like root beer. We all like and are attracted and connect with different things and different people. Put yourself out there. And here's the other big thing that I'm really on top, like really trying to get loud about, which is video is really the number one way to put out content, but it's not the only way to put out content. And so there's a lot of people that are selling courses on how to do video and saying that video is the only way. Look, if you're not comfortable with video, put that aside for a second. Get comfortable, and when you do, great. But we're talking in like the audio medium right now, and this is blowing up.
The audio is going to get more listens than the video for
I
us right
think
now.
so.
Anyway.
See?
We know.
Oh,
we
you know
will.
that.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay.
Well, for me, the way I learn, like I can't. You give me a 10-minute video on my phone, I won't watch it. But I'll let it play while I'm driving and listen to it. Right? Like I will not sit still and look at a video. It's just not who I am. So for a lot of people though, because it freaks me out because I can't believe how many people will sit down and watch a podcast. I'm like, what do you mean you watch a podcast? Like you don't listen to it? They're like, no, I watch it. I'm like, oh my. So for me, it just freaks me out. So to your point, the person that's going to double down on audio, they might not get the video people, but there's a lot of people still that want audio, and you don't need everyone. And I think that's what people are always worried about. Early on, they're always so worried about catering to every single person versus just being like, look, this is me. And I just need a few people to like me, and that's kind of it.
And I think what Jazz is alluding to there too is also you can play to your strengths, because if you feel like video is not your thing, do the blog post, do the written word, do whatever it is, however you feel comfortable with content creation.
And I think with you, Laura, that was like your number one thing.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. The third way to do it is create a blog or like write really well thought out posts, like for Instagram, and put a nice picture with it. Like you don't have to do video or audio. Just do whatever you feel the best at.
There's people I follow on Twitter just because they take data and they put it into a good, well laid out graph. And I follow them, so they're putting out content, and it can lead to a furthering of the relationship or me investing some of the resources, whatever, because they take public data and put it in a nice format, easy to understand. And I'm like, wow, that's valuable to me. So I do that. So, and that's all they do. It's even a whole other world, right?
I mean, taking pictures. I mean, I can't remember the gentleman's name who started Humans of New York, but he just started taking pictures of people in New York. And now he has, like, I don't know what he's earning now, probably 10, 15 million.
That's an Instagram account, Humans of New York.
I don't know. Like, if you check it right now, Tom, I think like probably 15 million followers or something. But then he wrote a book. All he did is put a little bit of writing along with his pictures. He has, I think he has a YouTube show now, and the YouTube show is just his pictures. He's probably started a podcast. He's all over the place.
11 million people.
There's 11 million? I said 15, sorry. And it's just pictures of people in New York.
What you're alluding to with all of this is what we tell a lot of people is that just pick something that you think you're good at and do it authentically, but also do it consistently.
Yes.
There's one thing I took away from my psychology degree at university, and it's maybe the only useful thing, was that if you do something consistently and you're in front of people consistently, even if they don't like you initially, if they see you on a regular basis, trust is built. So if you wait for that perfect article or the perfect video and you release one a year, you never build that trust with anyone. But if you consistently release content and you just use the good is good enough philosophy and you get it out the door, you automatically play to the human nature that builds trust from consistently seeing.
And just law of averages, right? Like, so if you're a salesperson right now, you're not good with calls. Look, you can still beat me and Tom and Nick and Laura, even though we have more experience. You just got to make more calls. Like, you're going to stumble into business. That's just going to happen with content. It all comes down, in my opinion, to quantity. I've learned it. I'm living it, where I don't let my team, and I have full-time editors, full-time videographers, full-time like cartoon people, all that, and there a lot of them. And it was a battle at the start because, and I understand it from their space, right? Which is, Jazz, like, we need to put a quality piece.
They didn't teach that at the MBA course.
No,
the MBA,
right? And it's like, we need to put a quality.
They didn't teach cartoons.
Not cartoons.
They didn't teach about cartoons during the MBA course.
But it was all about, let's put a quality content. I'm like, guys, I want more. So while it takes you one piece, I need 10. Because then the quality is going to come out of the quantity, because then the marketplace is going to tell me. Because it doesn't matter about Andre's subjective opinion if his content was good or not. To him, it's going to be good, and he's going to wait hours, and God bless him, he's an amazing guy, but it doesn't matter to me. I want the marketplace to decide, like, hey, that resonated with me, that didn't resonate with me, and then I can make changes to it.
Now, what I will say, though, is that a lot of people aren't as confident as Jazz, right?
He does have I was going to say he has a lack of confidence issue going on.
There's a certain level of confidence.
Yeah, yeah.
Some people say, well, I'm not like Jazz, and I mean, it takes me 15 takes just to do one video shoot. Just the other day, I was doing, what was it, a 30-second promo for one of our videos that we were putting up. I had to close the door, do it by myself, and it took me so many times. I'm sure my
there's some days it just doesn't happen. Yeah.
But then you know what I did? I took all those clips of me messing up, merged them together, and I posted that instead of the perfectly done. Because if
People
you put
like
that
it
out
more.
there, then it was like, now it's done. No one can make fun of me. What are you going to say now? You know what I mean? Like, I know I messed up,
Often
and I'm
people
showing
like
you.
it more because it's more real anyways.
100%. And look, we drove here today, Laura, and I think there was one point where I was on a call, but I heard you put the radio on, for example, and then you were fidgeting with the AC and heat or whatever. You were speaking with Andre. When you started driving, I have a feeling it was 10 and 2, mirrors first, seatbelt on.
Well, I'm not
side
that
mirrors.
anal.
You know what I'm saying? Like, now, fast forward to how long, I don't know how long you've been driving for. It's like, yeah, I got this. Can I have a phone? Can I have a coffee at the same time? Like, the confidence, experience breeds the confidence, right? And so that's why people need to get, I think, whoever's listening, you need to get started, even from an investor's perspective. We're big believers that as an investor, you might be thinking, what the heck are you guys talking about content? You got to get your word out there that you're an investor, because that you're going to have a lot higher chances of hooking up with other JV partners. People know that you're serious. You're going to build credibility.
Let's switch to that for a second. I know I'm jumping around. The Toronto real estate market, you must be getting questions. So
Yes,
we're
a lot.
recording this, what are we still, October 2020? What are you seeing in the market?
Yeah.
What's your take on the Toronto market? You can break it out however you want.
Yeah,
Just give us top of mind stuff.
Look, I mean, Toronto market just increased, at the time of this recording, 13% year over year. Really, the media is talking about, and it is valid, very valid, is if you look at downtown Toronto, the condos, there's a lot of places for rent right now. But it's, it was done. It was done with the strategy of closing the borders down. So the reason that the borders are closed because of the pandemic, I mean, it's why we're seeing the Airbnb rentals hit the long-term rental market. It's why we're seeing so many places for rent right now. And we just got to wait it out as investors, as purchasers. You got to wait this out. Toronto's going to be
So you're still confident on Toronto?
Very confident on Toronto.
You mean people aren't leaving it for good?
Yeah. I mean, I actually think the ones that are leaving, they're they're gonna feel real bad, and they're gonna get hit bad when offices open back up again. I just read an article.
Well, some are leaving just for family size issues. So they're moving ahead this year. Instead of waiting 2 years, they're like, I'm going to leave now. I was going to leave anyway.
100%. Yeah. But I think the people that are leaving because they don't think that they're going to come back to work there, I think they're going to be affected the most. Right?
Why you think there are going to be more people coming back to the downtown core than maybe some people believe?
I'm actually very
like two
bullish.
camps, right? It's like one camp is like, oh, didn't you hear? Twitter said all their employees are going to work from home forever. And Nick and I have been discussing that working together as a group, and we're a small team, but we've observed it's a competitive advantage 100%. Because the communication's better, it's faster, you get more done. Yeah. I can't keep up with 16 threads of different chats and emails going on. The team just operates better. So we've been thinking, wow, the companies that recognize that actually have a competitive advantage. And I know long term there's going to be more work from home and more Zoom stuff, and we're even doing work from home here now, which we weren't before.
Well, today's a good example though, because right now today was like if everyone wants to work from home they can, but because there was something that they wanted to get out, they just thought it was more effective. This was without us. They're like, you know what, it's just more effective. It's a deadline today to push this out. It's more effective if we're here to be able to get it done versus just trying to get it.
So some of the members of our team here, no one's supposed to be here today. Yeah. And then Alex volunteered to be here today, which we're very grateful for.
Love you, Alex.
So that that kind of stuff seems to be working out naturally.
Look, I mean, an article came out 2 days ago. Amazon, Jeff Bezos is spending a little over a $1.3 billion on new offices. So I think if it's...
Oh, really? I missed that one.
He must know something.
Yeah, he must know something.
I think there's going to be flexibility.
Yes.
More flexibility, but it's this thing of like the death of the office. I personally, I'm in the camp that's I'm like, I think you're kind of jumping. It's the cool thing to say right now, and all the tech companies jump on it. But I'm like, okay, talk to me in a few years.
People tend to make these like drastic long-term decisions off of very short-term emotions, right? And that's what we're seeing now is that people are like, everyone's working from home. I don't want to be in the condos. There's sickness everywhere. But when this is gone, you're going to miss seeing people. I already miss like seeing my parents and stuff like that. Like I'm still going to want to interact with people and get to work and build something together with colleagues. I don't think that's going to go anywhere.
We are seeing, all around the GTA, has been absolutely insane. But just, I would say today, we're starting to hear a few people say that
higher end market.
On the higher end market, so like 2.5 million and above, it was a lot of offers. Yeah. And now things are and it's not sitting for long, let's face it. Yeah. But things are cooling a little bit. But I'm trying to call the details in that email.
Which is good, but it's a time of year thing as well. This is a natural kind of slowdown, especially in that market as well as the kind of temperatures change. Yeah. But yeah, that's always the market that goes first. So some people might have adjusted things or pulled things forward. We'll see. I'm
fascinated to see the next 6 months.
Well, yeah, we're in such a unique time that we don't know how many people pulled things forward and stuff. We got to see what's the government going to do? Are they going to keep flooding the markets with money? Because that changes things too, right?
Right. I mean, if interest rates stay as low as they are, to get an interest rate for 5 years under 2%, it's just unheard of.
They're not going anywhere.
They're not going anywhere anytime soon. I think it really comes down to when these borders are going to open up again. And
so I don't know if you know this, the non-permanent residents to some students. Yeah. And we were getting, what was the number, man? I just had this number. Is it 80,000 a year?
Oh man, I forgot.
I think it was 80,000.
Like foreign students?
Foreign non-permanent residents. The largest chunk of them are students. Yeah. And the year that changed, go back and look at price appreciation numbers in all the cities around here. It's awesome. Yeah. Because the year that changed was 2014. And then the government changed some laws because they made it more appealing for people to be able to get their work visa afterwards, and they gave them more opportunities. Yes, and citizenship. So then what you saw happen from 2015 onwards, there was we were still getting strong immigration numbers. Our immigration has been increasing. Yeah. But then the non-permanent resident numbers jumped. And if you look at all these different areas, if you look at when price increases started really ramping up, 2015, it was that demand. The supply side didn't keep up, and that's where that shortage started.
If I have the money to send my kids to somewhere, and then they're going to get a path to citizenship shortly afterwards, why not? Yeah. Exactly. Get educated in Canada, get a citizenship in Canada. Even if they don't stay in Canada, they can stay or they can leave. It's a win-win.
And what better place than the GTA, right?
Yeah, we were talking to Sasha, the CEO of Graybrook Securities, and he was saying, and he was just saying how I had never heard him say it this way before, that just Toronto's the suburb to the world. Oh, yeah. And I was like, that's kind of a cool way to look at it, because I've always thought that Toronto was the most attractive place to be.
Yeah. Right? Personally, I think I prefer right now if the market slows. Yeah. This, what people have gotten used to that they think is a normal real estate market of 14% appreciation every year, this is not normal. That is not healthy. Anything that goes up that fast has to reset. Yeah, exactly. And the average Toronto condo numbers that I saw, I think this was a CIBC report, don't quote me on it, but it might have been a newspaper article. article. They said in the last 5 years, average Toronto condo was up 64%.
Yep.
So like, how is that normal? Like,
Right.
so like, even if, let's say prices regress, let's say they come back 15%.
Yep.
That means, so then, you know, that's over the last 5 years, maybe they're only up 9% year over
People
year.
are getting
Year over
greedy,
year.
right?
But-
Like
yeah.
my house, it took, oh my gosh, it took 8 years for my house to double instead of 6. It's like,
Yeah.
your house still doubled. Like,
Yeah, it's like people, they think that this, what they think is normal now is like, it's kind of totally skewed.
You
So we
talked
gotta
about the
bring it back.
line, right? Like, I like to look at the last 40 years. Big sample size, 7.3% year over year increase. When we see, even right now, as I mentioned earlier, 13%, I'm like, oh, I wish it wasn't that high, because you don't know. There's so much volatility. I mean, that's 17.2% back in 2017. I think we were all freaked out, anybody in the business, because you're like, this is way too high, way too fast. I mean, we were laughing yesterday around Don Mills. Every week prices were increasing by 100 grand.
And
A house
everyone
on
who
my
knows
street
you're in
would
real
sell, and I'd say, there's another 100 grand I just like made on paper.
and everyone who knows you're in real estate is like congratulating you, and we're like, listen, this actually isn't good for the real estate market, and it's hard to even get properties because there's so many offers.
You have to work
It's-
so much harder
Yeah.
to get something.
when it's a
to buy
nice
something.
slow market and you have trusting clients, that's the best market for a team like you guys.
Yes.
Because then you can just effectively get properties.
Well, and right now in downtown Toronto, we're seeing condos stay on the market a little bit longer. It's shifted. It's no longer a seller's market in downtown Toronto for condos. It's I would say almost a buyer's market, but it's really in that balance market, that 3 to 6 month in terms of inventory. A lot of our clients are picking up those condos on the resale market because they know, okay, look, I'm going to pick this up at maybe about 90 cents on the dollar. You can never say that in downtown Toronto.
And they can
for
take
the
their
last
time to
decade.
decide.
Exactly.
They don't
what-
feel rushed.
Exactly.
Like, put in the offer, go firm right
As
now.
long as
No
you,
conditions.
Yeah,
Yeah,
as
right.
long as you look at investing in real estate from a long-term perspective, it doesn't really matter if you bought in 2017 or 2014 or this year, because it's going to go up.
Yeah.
You always say it, like real estate goes up and down, upwards, right? So just buy and then hold it,
That's
and then
it.
kind of
Refinance
shut your ears
it,
off to
for
everybody
sure.
else.
Yeah, that's it.
What's next for you guys in the team? So your new office is going to be built. You're going to continue growing the team for people who reach out and find you guys, I guess. Because if you're like, I don't know, we don't have. I think Nick and I, we don't have. I don't know.
Jazz has nothing to do with it. He's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
He's
He's like us,
deciding.
like, because we don't have a master business plan. We
that's-
just keep doing our thing, working with
I
clients,
love
keep
that.
sharing education.
I love it.
and just kind of growing organically.
Yeah,
so
that's kind of our thing too. Though.
Yeah.
That's why I think Jazz looked at me like, I don't know.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Between Laura, I mean, Laura and Simos will talk a lot about that aspect of growing the team. I love what Dr. Martin Luther King said, right? He said that you don't need to see the whole staircase. You just need to see the first step. In my head, I'm just seeing the next step and then the next step after that. I spend a lot of time on the content side of things. And that's really what I want to
yeah,
expand
you love it.
on.
So it's not work to you. You're just going to keep doing
I'm
it and
gonna
see
keep
where this
on
goes.
doing that. And as more people, the right people, we're looking for the right people right now. We're trying to find
Someone like you, I could see even breaking off and just being a media personality, and real estate's one of your business. No, for real. And media is one of his
appreciate it.
businesses.
So
And then
far, he was a
might-
DJ and MC and a media presenter. I agree. I agree with what you're
I thought
saying.
he
But
played
yeah,
ball hockey too. He told me he didn't
What
play
can
ball
Jazz
hockey.
not do?
No, he said he can't
Brampton
play
ball
ball
hockey
hockey.
star. That's how it started. That's right. It was the
Jazz,
Brampton
you know,
ball
he
hockey
can
star.
also touch
This
his
is
tongue
my
to his nose.
This is just my stereotypes coming because I knew
Can
he's
you
from
touch your
Brampton.
tongue to your
Yes, you
nose?
can.
Oh, you can.
The reason I was totally playing stereotypes on the ball hockey stuff too, because when we had a pretty badass ball hockey team in university, and then we entered some leagues outside university, and the baddest teams would Indian guys from Brampton would just
I know exactly who you're talking
annihilate
about,
us.
just so you know, Tom.
Annihilate
I know
us.
exactly the
And I'm like,
teams.
who the hell are these guys, man? They are amazing. Like,
But you can't put skates on us.
No, I know.
No, don't put skates
a
on
couple
us.
guys actually. A couple guys. I know a couple guys I have played with skates. But ball hockey?
Yeah, it is.
What the hell, man? Seriously, I don't know what's going on in the Indian community in the ball hockey.
Yeah, it's
but
true. I don't know where it started.
I don't know
from,
where it
actually.
started
Yeah.
either, but it's.
I mean,
pretty-
we're good field hockey players, Indians, but
maybe that transferred
Maybe that's
over.
what
It's
it
just
is.
badass
Yeah.
ball hockey players, man. But okay, and then just your time management. I find that like some people will ask Nick and I our time management stuff.
Yeah.
But I find you're someone who likes what they're doing, so you're just showing up every day and executing stuff. Like you don't have like this daily routine that you stay by.
I have the daily routine of
Did
I love what you have there beside you, right? That piece of paper with pen, because that's exactly how I start my
Here,
day.
see all my notes that I had prepared for
and
you
I
guys.
love it. It's so
Everything I want
detailed.
that.
REC.
Yeah, I usually start like that too, and it doesn't go anywhere as planned. But at the first thing of the day, first thing in the morning, once I get in, I usually try to get in before everyone else, just to give me at least 30 minutes, 20 minutes at minimum by myself. And I just go paper to pen. I write everything that I want to try to accomplish today. And then at the end of the day, I'll look at it and I'll usually get to that 80, 90%. Sometimes I hit 100. Sometimes I get to 50% of it. I don't beat myself up on it because I know I get another crack at it the next day. I do have a lot of support people around me that makes life a lot easier.
I was going to say, learn to be a master delegator.
Yeah, I think.
And that's not because you're passing the buck. It's because that's how you're going to get more done. So the bigger your team is and the more qualified they are to help you out, I think that's been a game changer.
Well, Laura, what about for you? Are you using lists, or how do you keep yourself organized?
Oh my goodness. I am a systems person.
Yeah.
I build the systems for our team. So like spreadsheets and like if this happens, then these are all the events that follow. And so I write it down for everybody, and they kind of get a manual when they start, and then they follow the manual until it's second nature to them.
Jazz, when you were starting out, what about books that you were reading? Any books that you read, or no? Were you not a reading guy?
No, I'm a
okay. So early on, when you were starting out, like in car sales, maybe around that.
So
era.
it actually started for me. Simon, my mentor, he handed me. Actually, I saw it on one of his shelves, like you have behind you there, Tom. An Anthony Robbins.
Yeah. One of his early ones, Awaken the Giant Within, maybe?
No, that was the
Personal
book.
Power 2?
I think it was Personal Power 2. It was the 7-day
Personal. It was probably Personal Power, the first one.
Personal Power, the first one. And I looked at it and I started laughing. I was like, dude, you listen to this guy? This is the guy that I used to see in infomercials.
Yeah.
I'm like, who the heck listens to this guy? And he's like, Jazz, you ever even put in a CD? I was like, no, not other than a music CD. And I got hooked. I heard Anthony Robbins' voice, and then I picked up Jack Canfield's Success Principles, the late great Stephen Covey, 7 Habits, and then I got hooked on that self-help stuff. Like those books for me now, audiobooks and podcasts. I haven't read a book in probably 4 or 5 years because of audiobooks, but I'm a big believer of garbage in, garbage out, right? And so, talking about the pandemic and talking about team, the first thing we did within a 3-day period of the lockdown, once I understood what it meant, like I didn't understand what a pandemic, like I was like, what do you mean?
What's happening?
What
We're all locking shelter in place? What are you
what does
doing?
this all mean?
Oh my God, I forgot about that term.
Yeah, right? And I was like, oh, okay, so I think everyone's taking this serious. Because at first I was like, guys, everyone, 2 weeks. Take a vacation.
Long March break. Long
March break at that time.
Yeah, 2 weeks to flatten the curve. Remember that?
Yeah. I was like, 2 weeks. This is good. But then 3 days in, 4 days in, I was like, oh shit, I don't think this is going to be 2 weeks. Shut off. I haven't heard Trudeau speak since the first time he spoke.
The whole country was watching that first week, though, right? Where we all watching?
At 11 o'clock, I think, every day.
So I did the first day. First day, I remember we were all in the office. That's when I said the 2 weeks. But then 3 days in, I was like, okay, I don't think we're coming back anytime soon. At least for the next month or whatever, guys. We opened up a Zoom conference from 8:30 to 6 p.m. And I said the 5 people I need is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Guys, be on that with me all day. When you want to eat, go eat. When you want to drink, do whatever you want. But please just have it on. Let me know you're there, and I want you to know I'm here. Go to the do whatever you
We'd be on mute half the time on phone calls and whatnot.
So now we know who was sucking Toronto bandwidth all day.
That was us. That was us. But we did that for 10 weeks, 11 weeks. I think it was 10 weeks to be exact. And then we started to kind of trickle back in. But for that,
because the office was closed.
Well, we were still all essential service.
Right. Yeah. Okay,
but we decided for 10 weeks not to come back. But for 10 weeks, I just did not allow. I tried my best to keep the 5 people really honed in and shutting out that negativity. And I figured that if I can do it from 8:30 to 6, they're going to get tired. They're not going to go watch news at the end of the day. They'll go to sleep and do it again in the morning. And that strategy got us through, in my opinion. That the first 10 weeks, first week we did nothing. First 2 weeks, like in terms of sales. Then I think in the latter part of the latter 7 weeks, call it, I think we did like 25, 30 transactions, and things started to change. And then
huge month for us.
And then if you look at from March to now, I think we did a little over 82 transactions, and it all happened because of that 5 of us just on a phone call together at all times.
Right? Like waking up at a specific time every day and having that purpose to be at the office at a certain time. Like we'd made it as normal as we could.
Yeah.
And I was accountable to you. You were accountable to me. We all had to show up and be there. And sometimes people would be 5 minutes late.
I generally wear these shirts anyways at the office all day long because I left today. I put on a little hoodie and sweater. But at the Zoom conferences, same thing. Laura would get dressed up. Tyler would. Everyone would. And it was just focused. I think that was a great point, Laura.
Yeah.
And the Tony Robbins stuff. Anything else that's coming to mind on that? Because I find Nick, Mike on our team, Tony Robbins, Ruben on our team, Tony Robbins. That was like everyone I know who's not everyone I know, but a lot of people are doing pretty well.
It's the longest running infomercial in history.
Yeah.
Like in history. How many episodes?
There was a period of like 7 years or something, and it was on for 24 hours a day around the world. Somewhere around the world, that infomercial was playing.
Him and Lisa Gibbons. I still remember who he was doing the infomercials with. Lisa Gibbons had a
I remember.
Right. Talk show host.
Like Entertainment Tonight or something. That's right.
Yeah. He used to walk on Venice Beach. I remember watching it late at night and just laughing like.
Yeah, that's right. It was on Venice.
Speaking of sales, there's a salesman. Yes. That guy is, I mean, his sales abilities off the charts as well.
Oh, for sure. So is Tony Robbins stuff just virtual now, I guess? Because his are all live events.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they did amazing stuff with the stage.
I heard that.
And all the videos. I mean, talk about pivoting and doing it really quickly, because that would have been one type of industry that would have been shut down like that.
There's a number of places in kind of larger U.S. cities that what they did is they set up these virtual studios. So like that, where there's the stage in the middle and there's screens around them. So then these types of companies can go and rent that out for their events and stuff like that. So these AV companies, because they were like out of business as well, some of them were smart enough to be like, okay, we're setting up a studio now. Yeah. We're going to set it up for you guys. You rent it out.
We were just in one of these not too long ago.
Yeah, so we saw one in Woodbridge. Yeah, these guys pivoted. Well, I just saw pictures of what you guys did.
Yeah, I just showed them the setup of the video.
Yeah. We tried to. We didn't want it. I mean, look, if we're having an event for 1,000 people, I mean, it was 800. But if it was, we didn't want it to be like a Zoom call.
Yes.
We got to do something else, right? So there's some things we learned. We got to tweak a few things for next time. It'll be better next time. But we got to change it up.
It was good.
But I love it. How much better prepared are we for the next pandemic? Hopefully nothing.
Ongoing pandemic.
We all got through it. We're here now, I guess.
Exactly.
So reccanada.com is the URL. Who's the idea? So top performing team in Canada for Royal LePage. Am I correct saying that?
Yep.
Top performing team in Canada for Royal LePage. That's really cool, man.
Congrats
to you guys.
Thank you. I'll pass that on to everyone else. I mean, hopefully the team is listening right now. They're the ones, right? Like they every single day right now as they're listening, they're probably showing a property to somebody.
But I know how big of a deal that is too, because we're not in a brokerage
we're the top performing team for Rockstar Real Estate nationwide.
Nationwide. We're not team number one. So
actually we're North America wide.
Worldwide.
I guess it's actually global.
All right, guys.
It's universe. New York. It's universe. It's actually a universe for Rockstar Real Estate. It's two number one teams sitting down there. Wow, this is amazing. But and your ideal client is like, who's your ideal client?
An investor that is ready to kind of take that jump forward in creating wealth. As I say that, I mean, we really help anyone from their first property, buying their first home, buying their first condo, and what we call smart sizing, right? To smart sizing, meaning moving up into a bigger home, or moving into a smaller home. So that's really our client. Anybody who is looking for real estate education, same thing.
And all your content's available off that website? Because I know now, I think I saw you're doing some late night thing that I didn't see before.
I do, and I'm just restarting it, relaunching it. I apologize. It's called Nightcap with Jazz. So I do like to drink some scotch and cognac, and instead of doing that during the day, which I've never been a person to do, but I do.
So you're not a raging alcoholic?
Yeah, I'm not a raging. No.
Sorry. It was getting a little much during the pandemic. Like when we were at home for those 10 weeks, that's when this started.
Like,
Jazz, you got to stop.
The LCBO sales in Ontario went
they skyrocketed.
The only place that didn't shut down was the
I was going just loading up on wine. I'm like, I don't know when they're going to shut down. I was getting
and then 2 days later, you'd go and load up again.
I was getting boxes of wine, and the lady there, I remember she saw me a couple of times, and she's like, they're not going to close the LCBO. I'm like, you never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
So you mean cases of wine?
Sorry, what did I say?
Or boxes.
Oh,
I was actually buying boxes.
Oh, yeah. I was getting the cases of wine. Yeah, the cases of wine.
Yeah, wasn't it convenient for them that was the essential service? They're like, we shut down everything, but the LCBO, we got to leave that open.
That's Canada for you.
But that is the best place to go.
For everything.
For everything. You'll figure it out. You'll find us. We're not hard to find.
Laura, Jazz, thank you so much for coming all the way down here. Really appreciate it, man.
Such a pleasure.
Awesome.
You guys are amazing.